That bird's driving me nuts.
No shit.
Absolutely fucking driving
Is
me
it
nuts.
in your house?
No,
Or
it's in a room down there. The bird
In a
has its
room?
own room. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, so it's like a pet?
It's a pet bird. It's a pet bird. Sorry, Grant, if you're listening. I
Oh,
love you,
okay.
though.
I thought it was just like
Thank
some
you for
bird
letting me
out in
stay
a
at your
tree
place.
outside.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about Ben Shapiro, who just retired from the rap game. He had a long career. This is quite amazing, so we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how streamers they had the most difficult jobs in the world, apparently. We got Final Fantasy Rebirth. I know nothing about that. John's going to help us with that talk.
Yes.
And whatever else comes up. I don't know. Oh, there's something that's interesting that was pretty funny. Jon Stewart came back for The Daily Show. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if we want to talk about that, though.
I know whenever you
really care
said
that
Jon
much.
Stewart, I thought Rod Stewart, and I was like, wait, he's back? And
That would be
don't
great.
know why. I don't know why my mind went to Rod
If
Stewart
you
there.
like my body.
I think
Yeah, if it was
did.
Rod Stewart, I'd be watching that.
I know. I'd be like, hell yeah, Rod Stewart.
Oh, and then Slipknot drummer. Apparently apparently people think they know who the drummer is now, and they pretty much make it feel like it's official. But
Should we start with that one?
Yeah, let's start with that because that's a little fascinating with the Slipknot thing because it kind of makes sense why the way that they got rid of their last drummer, right? Where they kind of didn't say much about it, kind of just like slid it under the table. So the big thing is this is speculation though. So we're saying it's. Do you guys remember the name of the drummer? I already forgot his name.
It is.
Is it dude?
Oh God, I do know his name. His name is. Oh, for God's sakes, I
The
had it.
leaked one?
All I can hear is
The
that fucking
Sepultura
bird.
guy.
Sepultura drummer, yeah. So their drummer has been a big fan of Slipknot, done Slipknot covers. This is
Eloy
Eloy
Casagrande.
Casagrande. Oh,
yeah.
there you go.
It's not a for sure thing. It's just speculation, of course, because he all of a sudden quit his band to pursue a bigger project, but he didn't tell the band why he was leaving and what that project was, because a lot of people are assuming that he can't tell them what he's doing because Slipknot wants him to keep it under wraps. Is most likely what's going on. Is what people are assuming. Of course, it's all speculation. And a lot of people are like, are they going to hide him behind a mask for that when he's playing? I mean, he has a specific style, so you would definitely know when he's playing, but yeah.
It's a tough thing for him. I mean, Jay Weinberg had the same thing. He left against me and he couldn't tell them why. He had to leave, he had to quit, and he just went and joined Slipknot. And Slipknot are never going to tell you who the drummer is. Shock horror, guys. Don't know if anyone realizes. They wear masks. So they don't ever go, this is who I am. They leave it for you to figure out who it is. But they do put you in, and it will be a legal thing. It's like he has to quit because he's got this upcoming thing. They've got shows in like a couple weeks from now. And he can't tell Sepultura, so that's going to be really difficult. And I get that people are shitting on him. I mean, people who hate this, first of all, Sepultura fans and people who hate Slipknot. Those are the only people who hate this. Everyone else is like a little bit excited because the reality is, would you give up, forget like the band names, would you give up a job that has a guaranteed endpoint for something that is going to pay you a salary for a lot longer, that you're really excited about, that you're very into and you have been a fan of for a long while? It's a simple business decision. So you can't fault the guy for making it. I think the problem is, and it's always going to be, is he can't trust anyone in the band to not say something because, as you can see by their press statement they release, they're having little shots anyway saying he abandoned them. I mean, using the word abandon is quite strong, but they've been planning this farewell tour for a year, so I get it.
I also understand why the band's pissed off. That would suck.
Completely.
You have a band member that's probably more or less like your friend also, because you're spending all that time with them. Most workers become a friend at some kind of level, because rather you want to say you keep your job separated or whatever bullshit. That never happens. You always become attached to the people you're working with. And so they're probably pissed. It's probably like a betrayal of trust to them, betrayal of the friendship. So I can see why they're pissed, because that does suck. Hopefully he worded it in a way where he was like, guys, I would love to tell you. It's just, I can't. Hopefully he was reasonable with them the way he explained it. Because, it's all how you deliver the message. But if he didn't deliver the message that well, I can also see why the band would be really pissed, either way. Or some people don't take it the right way. Like, some people will just be salty no matter how you deliver the message, right? They'll be like, fuck you.
Yes.
I think a wild thing is too though, like with Slipknot, hasn't there been talks of Corey Taylor like retiring? I know that there was some videos that I saw,
Yeah.
it might have just been clickbait, but like that's kind of a weird thing. It's like leaving a thing that's for sure leaving for leaving something that might be leaving because
Again,
Corey
how much
Taylor,
of
I
that
don't
is like
Yeah.
you know, the problem with that is he's got his side projects. He's got his Corey Taylor
Mhm.
CMFT side project
Yeah.
thing, and he's been doing a
Yeah.
lot of tours, and that's taken. He hasn't said specifically, but he said it's. I guess the lifestyle has put him into a place that he's not very happy with, and he's had issues with his back
Yeah.
and the touring. So there's a lot of that. I don't know
Yeah.
what would be different about touring with Slipknot. You would imagine that's more demanding than touring with
You would
just
think
kind of
so.
a solo project. But yeah, it's a tough one. I think the I imagine that the you know, even if there's a risk of it ending, there's still also a potential of it continuing. So
Mhm.
also, who doesn't want to play for Slipknot? I mean, the guy's like the other
Yeah, that's
reason
true.
that people are speculating is he's a massive fan. He's done a bunch of Slipknot covers. He's done Heretic Anthem. He's done People Equal Shit as playthroughs, and
Yeah.
he's crushed it. So it's like it's kind of like those things in the he's done them for a while now. So he's a big fan. He absolutely crushes. He's like a human
Mhm.
metronome. And then you look at the fact of the timing that he's quite abruptly left Sepultura. Can't say why. It kind of lines
Now-
up. I mean, I don't see there being any other options.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
to reiterate stuff about Corey Taylor. So he did announce that he wants Slipknot to keep going afterwards, after he can't do it anymore. So
I mean-
his plan is to get his kids involved, or like the band
You know
members' kids
when
involved,
people
take
say
over.
like people go like everyone's replaceable. It's not true. It's not
Yeah,
true.
that's true. Yeah. Well, no,
Like,
yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I think in most instances it's true. I think most instances it applies. You know, you have to think about contribution versus likability. So if we take a band we know that everyone loves and knows that we all are fans of, so a Bandmate, for example, could you replace a member of the band? Well, what is their contribution versus do you just like them a lot? Like Corey Taylor, it's going to be very difficult for Slipknot to continue in any capacity without him, especially one because of his talent, and two because people have bought into him for so many decades. It's going to be really difficult to latch on, unless they just time it with a whole new generation of fans. I don't know.
Also,
Kind of
another
like that
thing is
Metalverse spin-off.
Also, another thing with Slipknot and with Corey Taylor, you know, his solo project isn't as good as the main project. Normally, when those artists do that, it doesn't always go well for them. There's only one member I could think of that did well doing that was Chris Cornell. He pulled it off multiple times, which is really fucking impressive. But yeah,
That's
you're
true.
right.
You know,
most
yeah.
singers can't do that, you know?
Yeah.
Well, Corey Taylor did Stone Sour, which was wildly successful.
Yeah,
like,
Stone Sour, he
massively
pulled off with
successful,
two.
so-
That's true.
Not as big as Slipknot, of course. And you know, you had Joey Jordison in Murder Dolls, where he played guitar and stuff. There were lots. The reality is, Slipknot's this big piece of machinery at this point, and it's just all the cogs plug in and keep going.
Yeah.
And these guys, we've said it on previous podcasts, if these guys don't find another creative outlet, they're going to end up getting frustrated, fighting, and leaving.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, completely. And so I don't know what else will we say about this. I guess just go about it, and like Salim said in chat, she's just waiting for the drama to get bigger, I guess. I guess it's just gonna snowball. Because like you said, they already posted on Twitter and stuff saying how messed up it is, so that band's pretty pissed off. Imagine if he gets fired. Okay, let's say it is him, right? And he gets fired from Slipknot. Would you take him back? Would you take
Dude, that's
that
a
drummer
weird
back?
one though.
That's
Normally, no. You know?
Well, it's also let's not forget
But
Sepultura
he
are
has
not
a
short on drummers.
He has a specific drum style, but they've had different drummers, like you just said, right? So sorry, I didn't even mean interrupt. So
No. It's like, I mean, it's like taking your ex back. I wouldn't do it. That's for damn sure. But you know, the reality of this is Sepultura are not going to go on their farewell tour. They've got Grayson Recruitments coming in. He's a fantastic drummer. He's going to do a great job with it. He's a massive fan. He's super excited, and he thinks, you know, he's looking at it as a massive privilege and honor. And yes, I'm sure for the fans, they wanted that lineup. You're still going to get Sepultura. You're still going to enjoy it. Slipknot's still going to continue, and they've got a fantastic drummer. The only thing I'd say is just be open-minded. Like, we don't know these people. These aren't our fucking friends. Let's be very real. Like, we always sometimes act like we know the person and they're our friend, and we get so butthurt about it when they leave or they join a new band. listen to the music, and he's gonna, he's gonna add a new style to Slipknot, and hopefully he does it in a way that pays respect to what Joey Jordison did, what Jay Weinberg did, and hopefully he does something new. We don't know how many albums are left in Slipknot, but sometimes, a haircut's as good as a holiday. Change is good.
Is Slipknot even
There's
writing
the other
new
thing that
music?
Ken mentioned here too. Whoever the new drummer for Sepultura is probably going to have a contract. So it depends on what that is. I mean, we saw Mike Portnoy come back to Dream Theater.
Yeah, I was
So-
just about to mention that.
That's true.
They
Well,
took him
the
back.
guy for Sepultura, it's an 18-month tour, and then that's it. It's done. So he will be locked in for that contract, and he knows it's going to have an endpoint, and then he can go back to doing whatever else he wants to do. So it's high profile for him. It's amazing. I think everybody wins. Really, I think that's like the thing here.
Yeah. Well, and with Dream Theater, talk about that for a second. They didn't want to take him back for a very long time, and they finally gave in. But also,
Really?
Portnoy is a very good drummer. He has a very signature style. The way that he
Well, that's
plays.
true.
So,
It's
but they
funny because like Mike, as a drummer, watching the two of them, I think Mike Mangini is like a much more advanced technical drummer that can do. pretty
Oh,
much
you're gonna
anything.
get it now. You're gonna
But
get it.
Mike
from people now.
Portnoy has more like feeling and more
Yeah,
expression
yeah.
in his playing.
I agree.
You know,
I agree
and he
with
makes
you.
more mistakes than Mike Mangini does, but you feel it when he's playing. You know,
That's
just
very
my
evident
opinion.
a lot of the times. I think, like, I don't know, man. It's the difference between playing it with a drum machine that is going to crush or whatever, between like that and just a really creative person. So I like the creativity with a little bit of mistakes,
yeah, me too.
It's not even
I
like
think what-
mistakes. It's just that feeling, right? It's just like Joey Jordison also.
Yeah.
He had a specific feel in the way he played. A lot of people considered it unconventional, the way that
Yeah,
he played
yeah.
drums.
Yeah.
I think what should happen is both drummers should be fired. I think Wave should be hired to do both sets, and we're just gonna fly him back and forth between the Slipknot
Yes.
show and the
Dude,
Sepultura.
those bands would
show.
fail so fast. I'd probably have a heart attack if I tried playing Slipknot.
Yeah.
Petition for Wave to play for Slipknot.
Well, thanks, Chase. I appreciate it.
All right. So we talked about this. I think it was like one of our first episodes. We had a lot of people get mad about our first episode. And
Yeah,
was
but
that?
those people are what we call bitches.
Madam Web.
no. So Ben Shapiro came out with a rap song. You remember that, guys? Came out with a
Oh,
rap
yeah.
song.
How
and
could I forget?
the
on my
number
playlist,
one,
number one.
song in
Number
the
one
nation.
single. Well, guys, if you haven't been following along since that time, he has retired and just released a behind-the-scenes documentary about the rise of becoming a rap star and then letting it go.
You know what
do
I
feel
really
like-
like?
You gotta go out on top, man. You gotta go out on top.
Yeah, like
You know?
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
He went out
What
on
I really
top
liked
the
is
best
he
way.
didn't let it take control of him. Shout out Dr. Dreidel. He did an amazing job. He rose very
Dreidel.
quickly. He absolutely killed it. And now what we have is he's parlayed that into quite a successful political career. So, well done to him to be transforming this rise to fame into something a little bit more.
My question
funny.
is, do you think he left too soon? Do you think he was at the peak of his game? Was there a little potential that he could have tapped into?
Hey, he got Cardi B's seal of approval.
Oh, there you go. I mean, yeah. I think a clout now of this is probably going to like raise him. Nobody before this, did anybody even know that he was a political person? I don't even think anybody even knew he did politics.
No one
Now
knew who he
everybody's
was.
Never
No
heard
one
of
knew who he was at
Like,
all.
yeah. And everybody's
No.
like, wait, what?
No.
This rapper also does politics?
Like
It's
John
crazy.
Payne, like John
Whoa.
Payne said, certainly did not let fame go to his head. So humble.
Yes. Very much so. Very much so.
I think part of that's responsible is the yarmulke. I think it helps keep everything intact, and he's just done a really good job with it. So he's absolutely
all in.
smashed it. Yeah, holds it all in, keeps you humble,
Yeah.
keeps you
No,
keeps you focused, and well
here's
done him.
Here's a really big question I got for you guys. Will Tom MacDonald's career be the same moving forward? I mean, after a collab like that at such high caliber, how is he possibly going to move forward with his rap career now that he doesn't have Ben with him?
That's
tough.
a good question.
He's in the same position Sony's in right now, trying to follow up Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yes. Yes.
I think that's why they needed to buy another 5 years with Madam Web.
Yeah.
So they could
It's
think
it's
about
a-
longer.
It's a little bit like when Ace Frehley left Kiss, man. It's going to be tough. The road is long and hard, but I'm sure what he's going to do is he's going to make it work. He's going to have really, he's going to have a tough time. But I think if we just support him, we start a GoFundMe, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah. So best of luck to Tom MacDonald. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. Our job is the hardest job ever. It's way harder than any other job out there, you know.
It's so hard.
Harder than health.
For anyone who doesn't know what we're
healthcare
talking
workers do.
about.
Harder than everything.
Anyone
let's
doesn't know what
give
we're
some
talking about.
context
Like
here.
all of those people out
than
there
Chase
doing like
is right now.
harder than, I mean, that's impossible. First of all, I'm talking to you three boys. That's impossible.
I don't know. It's just giving you a good competition right now.
Thank you. You know, if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, Asmongold and her son, I think it's Piker. I don't know how you say his last name. Basically, are being called out because they stream, they play games, they do all manner of streaming things, and they're complaining that their job is much harder than normal, quote unquote, normal jobs. And people aren't too happy
socially
about it.
draining.
Well, you know,
That quote.
I don't know. I've worked with some arseholes, so like, you know, depends who your coworkers are. I think the point, I do have a bit of a hot take on this. So, sarcasm, jokes
hot
aside.
take, hot take. All right.
Yeah.
Hot take.
I think it goes without saying that it is in no way harder than quote unquote harder jobs, normal jobs. What I mean by that is firefighters, nurses, doctors, mothers. Like, I'm pretty sure those are harder jobs with far higher accountability, far more responsibility, and far more consequence. However, when you work for yourself and you're in control of your own hours, you do tend to work much harder, much longer than you should and need to. So I'm not suggesting by any means that it's harder than what they're deeming as normal jobs. But I will say that if you're somebody who wants to succeed and you're somebody who's making a go of the streaming / reaction / musician / online world, you're most likely going to be putting in much longer hours than I think if you were working for a job you didn't care as much about and logging off. And I think that long term could probably make you feel quite bad.
I got something to say.
I don't think it's harder than being a fucking firefighter or working on an oil rig.
Yeah, I see. This is what I think about that, though.
Yeah.
When you're streaming, for me, I'm speaking up for myself on this. You guys let me know if you agree. I love streaming, so that time does fly by for me where I don't feel that time. As where I worked 80-hour weeks as a district manager, that was fucking hell, and I did not have fun doing that.
Yeah,
that's too many hours.
Like, it was just horrible. You know, there's some moments I loved. I remember when I was working that job, my biggest thing that I loved about it was that I get to learn stuff. That's my rule of thumb. If I'm not learning something at the job I'm working at, I don't like being there. And that's what I like about streaming, is that there's always something new way to innovate and learn and get better. I think that's what's attractive for me. But where it makes it harder is there's no guarantee of money streaming at all. There's no guarantee that you're just able to support your family. So if you're in my situation where you have kids and stuff and you got to support them, feed them, that part can be very like weighing on you, like while you're streaming and trying to, you know, put on a show and entertain for people. You're like, fuck, I hope I make enough to support whatever I got to support for a week. That part is kind of nerve-wracking. At least with the DM job, I knew a check was coming in. So like, there's like those pros and cons, man. Just there's a lot of pros and cons to each of them. But
yeah, we're in kind of different worlds than the people we're talking about here. Hasan and Asmongold, I think they make pretty good money streaming. And,
like Solemn said, Hasan doesn't have kids. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that explains a lot.
True. That is very true.
Dude, like, I understand. For me personally, I've been making my living doing streaming for a couple of years now, and it is socially exhausting. Like, by the time I get done streaming, I don't want to talk to anybody. But I get to choose when I stream. Yeah. I don't have to get up at 5 a.m. every single day and report to work and not know what the workload's going to be and have to stay there till the work's done. Like, I worked at the post office for 9 years, so that was every day. Like, get there early, no matter what the weather is. Most of the time, you have to take whatever workload is there, even if it's just like astronomical, and get it done. And
Is that how it feels when Chase comes
his
over?
His exact words were just, yeah, exactly. His exact words were, it destroys your soul more than a normal job. And I'm like, I was, for the first time in my life, like, you know, borderline suicidal and losing my mind when I was working at that job. And it's so much easier now to just stream whenever I want to, you know? It's like I wouldn't trade it for anything. I think it's absolutely like I understand the point he was trying to make, but the way he phrased it was so dumb. And like what no one it's so not tactful. Like no one's gonna be able to relate to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the main problem with this statement because, like, I would agree with him in some ways, but just the way that he phrased it, it's just like, you're off on the point there. You know what I mean? Like, for sure. Because I mean, like,
sorry, go for it, John.
Well, no, I mean, just with like a normal job or whatever, especially like if you can clock in, clock out type job, then you've got like this certain amount of time that you're at least allowed to not let it bother you. You know what I mean? Like if you got a dick customer that you know you're going to have to clock in and deal with them, they're going to be waiting for you when the door is open, kind of, so to speak. That guy, they're waiting for you there. You know what I mean? And if like off stream, you're still getting messed with, or off stream, you're still getting like messages and comments and stuff like that. If like those things are happening, it's being more mentally taxing in certain ways, but it's just like, I think he's very much so. They're unattached from, I think, reality, because it's like, and then two, I'm also going to say like they're at that level where it's like if they don't, they're probably losing enough money where it's like pretty substantial. You know what I can't remember what it was, but like Ninja for not streaming for like however long. I remember reading this thing. He lost like tens of thousands of dollars. So he's got like this somewhat obligation to be there, to show up and stuff. But just still, they're very detached with that.
I will say this, when I hear that Wave works at the post office, I would pay good money to watch you lick stamps all day. That's the first thing. Second thing is there's just a couple comments that came in that says correct me if I'm wrong.
And deliver the load. Come on, you mentioned load, you know.
Yeah, dude. And then says,
3 loads a day, baby.
Dude, listen, I'm open and waiting to receive between the hours of 1 and 3. I'm ready. Just pull up.
Astronomical lows at that.
London said, correct me if I'm wrong, but specifically were they specifically talking about the social aspect? Yes and no. There were parts where he was kind of leaning into that. There were parts where he was kind of being a bit more abrupt. I will say this. What do you guys think about this? Hot take Chase coming in again.
Yeah.
A lot of people who seem detached and a little dim are often not, particularly in the online world. They're often a lot smarter and more calculated than they appear to be. How much of this is this person going, I bet you anything you like, everybody's going to be talking about this tomorrow because it's outlandish and I'm going to get more views, more subscribers.
I've thought about that. I've thought about that. Sometimes you can feel it with those people, right? And with Hasan, I totally believe he knows that it's going to trigger a certain kind of emotion way. And only because I've watched a video in the past where they talk about his upbringing, where he was like more right-leaning and stuff, and he was like pushing all that garbage for a while. And I think he saw a more profitable path going in the opposite direction. And so he already has a track record of him changing up his ideas and opinions on stuff. And that happens with everybody, right? Everybody changes their opinions and ideas. But his was like a 180 overnight kind of thing, not like gradually slip. So I would believe what you're saying, Chase, that is a very big possibility. He's just saying that to get people to talk about it. Yeah. But Asmongold jumped in on the conversation, though. Ooh. You know? So Asmongold, I believe he was more serious. Does that make sense?
Remember, he's not. He's in the same stream and lane, so it makes sense for him to comment on it. He probably knows the guy personally to some degree. Think about what we're doing today. We're talking about the Slipknot potential drummer. Why? Yeah. Well, one, it makes sense. We all do reactions. We're all musicians. We all listen to Slipknot or have in some capacity, and it feels right and it fits. So that's authenticity. We're also doing it because we know people care are going to watch, right? So Asmongold's probably thinking, this is quite hot and topical. Let me add my points of view to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's I think his is more like real than he's kind of just trying to like back up a buddy because he seemed to align with what he said. But then obviously you pull yourself into controversy. The thing that it made me think about the most, which I I don't stream near as much. This isn't my job. I don't get paid for any streaming, any reactions, and hopefully that'll change soon. But the reality is, when you are online for very long periods of time for most days of the week, you have moments as a human being where you just can't and don't want to be nice. You feel sad, you feel angry, you feel all these things. And this is the part that I find difficult or quote unquote hard is yesterday I had a moment. I got some stuff going on. My mom's not very well. I had a moment. I didn't want to fucking talk to anyone. I didn't want to show my face to anyone. I was angry. I was fuming. I was kind of all these things, right? But if you've got to be online all the time, you're going to have to be online during some of those moments. And then you're going to catch yourself out being angry, snapping at something, saying something, having a hot take just because you're kind of feeling a particular way. And then you have the consequence and potential of like being canceled and losing all your money because you're a human being, where other human beings get to hide and kind of talk to their partners about it at night. So that's the part that I think is really tough.
Well, it's funny because that happened to me today. Like right before the stream, it's like, fuck, I don't want to do this. Because like I had that moment. I don't want to talk.
Oh, me too.
I don't want to have that. I don't want to have a discussion. I'm done. But somehow I always snap myself out of it. Luckily, I have that ability of where I like to socialize, because when I do open up and talking, I feed off the energy and I can keep it going. But not everybody's like that, for sure. For sure, 100% not everybody's like that.
That's the same thing I had this morning. Like, I've been so overwhelmed this week with the baby because he's going through a lot of development changes and he's just always in a bad mood right now. And I could see Rosie breaking down. So it's like, I feel bad working when I could be helping her, you know?
Sure.
But then when I do talk to people, like, I didn't want to come on today, but once we start talking, you guys cheer me up, and it's like it feeds my energy so I can go back and be a better dad later, you know?
So imagine doing it solo, though. Imagine doing it solo. So what Chase is getting at, you know what I mean? That's when it's like, because probably if I was doing a solo stream, it would be canceled today. But since it was with other people that are possibly relying on me showing up today, it does make it easier. And this is why I think a part of me craves doing a normal job again, almost. Like just interacting with people, because it's so much more motivating to keep going. And that's why it is so hard to do a job for yourself, where it's like you have to motivate yourself to keep doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this. To me, it seems easier when people are relying on you to do a job. I don't know, you know, like than when it's just for yourself. Because if it's just for myself, I'll fucking lay in bed all day and do absolutely nothing. Probably.
That's what I'm so grateful for. Like the people that come to my streams and they get they get reactions from my website ahead of time, because most of the time my streams are sold out before I even start streaming. And if they weren't already ordered, because I have an obligation and a duty now to those people, like I need to go to work, I need to do this. If they didn't already make those requests, I probably would cancel my streams like every other week, you know, because I'm just like a lazy.
No, it's cool. It gives you incentive. But I will say this too, like there's a weird difference in this, like for both the streamers that we're talking about, like their chats. Can you imagine like trying to read their chat?
Oh my God.
I couldn't imagine trying to read it.
Christ. No.
And like for me personally, if I'm having like one of those days, which happens quite a bit, like especially dude, wake up at freaking 7, just went to sleep at like 4 a.m, woke up at 7, going to work, then getting back, working with like life stuff, and then getting on stream and like trying to find that energy to be like, all right, it's 8 o'clock, got to go upstairs and stream, and then like all this stuff. So that happens. And then whenever I get on stream and it is just me streaming, like I don't have other people co-streaming with me, it's just me streaming, I get to read the chat. And then that's what kind of gives me that, like, fuels the, like, I just get to be myself, and kind of like, if I need to freaking talk trash, I can, or whatever, like, you know what I mean? But I just get to get that out. And then, like you said, be a better dad whenever I like come back down. And so like, but the weird thing is, I get to really connect with the people that are talking to. So like right now I could be like, Ken, what up? So what up? John, what up? And like I can talk to the people there.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm talking to the people. But I think that the streamers that we're talking about, like there's no way that they can have a personal relationship or even like personally talk to that person. You know what I mean? And if they did, it would just be really quick.
You must remember, like, again, please don't hear what I'm not saying.
But I want
it's a massive privilege. It's a massive privilege to be a streamer, YouTuber, online person, to make any kind of money from making content that you love, on a hobby or passion you love, picking your own hours, or as demanding as they can be. It's a massive privilege. And I wouldn't, man, when I'm able to do that and I can throw myself into it fully, I wouldn't change it for the world. I know that even just doing it fills me creatively and kind of fills my spirit and my energy cell, if you will. But it can be difficult. Like, there are times where stuff's going on where if you were working a 9 to 5 and you were just like an accountant or something, sure, you got meetings where you got to slap a smile on and you got to be there and be present. But most of the day you can kind of go, fuck this, and just do the thing and do the task and get it done with. And you can kind of hide from the world and do a task. And people say, well, yeah, you can do that while you're editing. No, not true, because you're editing yourself and you're constantly reminded of yourself and your imperfections. And did you stutter a word? Have you done it? Are you good enough?
Your creativity goes out the window too, by the way. You have to make sure you're in a good mood to do an edit.
And you talk about the John, is a very good point around the chats, right? The people in our chats, because of the scale, because of the size, you guys a lot. I mean, I think you probably all have bigger channels than mine, but the scale of the chats is still where you kind of see a name and you recognize a name, like you said, and you can have a chat. The people who are joining our chats are trying to have conversations. They're trying to speak. They're trying to ask for a request. They're trying to make a comment. They're trying to be people. The people in these other people's chats where it's 10, 20,000, whatever it is live, they're trying to be seen. And people who are trying to be seen say and do outlandish shit. Your mic's not working. Is my mic? Oh, my mic. Is it? Can you hear me? And then it's 5 minutes of, hey guys, can you hear? Trying to troll you. Oh, your camera's off.
Like
just being dicks. Just being fucking dicks. Like, it's just, But that's more like a fun thing for you. But imagine complete strangers every time you joined in, like hundreds of them going like, I remember I didn't, bear in mind, still wasn't being paid for this. And I stopped streaming. I stopped doing reactions because my nephew passed away. I can't tell you the shitty things people said about that. So like, and these are people that, I'm a fairly small channel. I thought that everyone's going to be like, kind of just like, leave him alone, give him his space. He'll be back when he's ready. They are shitheads. And if you're feeling a particular way, even if you just had a small interaction with your partner or one of the kids or anybody, and they rush out the door and you're feeling like, damn, I wish I handled that better. Okay, let me hit record and go. And everyone goes, well, then just don't stream. No, it's a job. You don't get to decide when and when you don't do your job. You have to fucking do your job. You can't call your boss and go, I don't feel like it. And if we're our own boss, we can't tell ourselves we don't feel like it. We have to do it.
Yeah, there's so many times where I'm like, ugh, and then I don't know, just think that same thing. Like, if I don't show up now, it won't turn into something later. So I just like, that's my inspiration for like anytime that I don't feel like doing it. I'm just like, all right, showing up for it.
Yeah,
then,
for me, getting paid to play music is always been my dream, of doing it, even if it's not a lot of money. This is exactly why I sold my house. This is exactly why I quit my job. And I regret doing it the way I did it, but who knows, maybe if I didn't have that free time, I wouldn't have learned the things that I've learned now. And it's been fucking hard, but, I always keep telling myself, hey, it'll get better. And me to just be able to be like, cool, I get to play some gigs and get paid. Or I get to tell people about music that I'm passionate about. That's pretty fucking awesome. It's not, I'm not making it anywhere near what I did like before. But maybe it'll get there someday. Who knows? And I thought it was important to like let my kids know, hey, you can make a living. It might not be great at first, but it could be, but it's worth trying. It's worth trying at least, because if I would have stayed at that last job, who knows, it would have went to hell, because the reason why I left initially is because I stopped learning, right? Like I told you guys. And there's a lot of valuable things I learned as a businessman that I think kind of like moved over to other things in my life, and it was good. So it's like one of those things you just, man, but it's so, to me, even saying that, I'm like, even that's like what's too easy, because a lot of people are probably like, well, I can't fucking do that. Well, like a lot of people can't quit their job to go do that, also. So there's that thing too. So I feel very lucky to be doing that. And I'm glad I built up what I did when I was 20, because who knows,
Dude, so can I ask you really quick? And then I've got a follow-up thing to tell you after this. But what was the point where you were like, all right, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to fully pursue this? Like, what was that point? Do you remember there was like
I did shrooms.
This is helpful for me, by the way, because I'm hopefully going to get there. So
I did shrooms. That's what I did.
Yes.
I did
do
mushrooms.
Chase.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
I'm not
Listen,
even
your
fucking
boy.
joking.
Realize what's really
boys-
important.
Listen, your boy's a fucking immigrant. He's still trying to get a green card. Your
Shrooms
country's
are
on the
illegal
blue
here
list
from
right
the
now.
earth.
Let me tell you how to do it. Okay, so you wake up
Portobello's
one
or-
morning, grab about, I think it was like $20 worth of shrooms. I took them all,
I'm here
and
for this.
I went into work, right? And we were short-staffed that day, and I was working the burger line. My bosses came in and watched me serve 30 orders. I'm a district manager, by the way.
Yes.
Working on the cook line. You know,
yeah.
obviously there's big issues that led up to this. And of
Yeah.
course
Yeah.
there was beautiful emails sent and warning them about what's going on. And so the head ups all came in. They watched me and said, "Al, you're doing an awesome job," and walked out while I had a line.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I was like, "Oh, really, motherfuckers?" So I'm high on shrooms.
While you're working.
That is amazing that you're high on shrooms on this story.
And
oh my God.
brain just clicked. I'm like, I'm working for these assholes. I'm feeding the public shit garbage. I know they chose there to go buy this garbage. And I just start slamming burgers. I'm like, fuck this shit. And I just like walked out. I'm like, I am doing music for the rest of my life. No more of this. And yeah, I left.
God, yes.
And
Chase, do exactly that.
Yes.
so do the equivalent of that, and you should be good.
No,
yes.
the absolute funny thing is like, so I've spoken about before, so I don't mind saying, but I came here on a visa that then you have to like submit to like apply for your green card. Until you apply for your green card, you can't work, you can't
sucks.
travel, you can't open a bank account in most places. You got to just fucking chill. And then you're like, well, how long is it going to take? And they're like, I don't know, anywhere up to like a year. And you're like, another year? After 2 years, by the way, this process has already taken 2 years just to get here.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm like, sorry, a year? And then the timelines have all come down to be much shorter and much shorter. So I'm hopefully very close to being able to work and be unrestricted and be a real human. But for me, it's like, it's one of those things where I always thought in my head, and this is the thing that kind of, it's tough. Like I always thought, oh, okay, so you monitor the YouTube stuff and everything else you're doing until it gets to a financial point. It doesn't have to equal, but it gets to a financial point where bills are covered and it's consistent. So like, are you covering bills for say 3, 4, 5, 6 months? And then you can think about making that switch, but you can't put the fucking work into the thing to get it to that point if you're working another job. So there has to be some kind of in-between decision where you take a risk.
Yeah, so I put money away. I had been planning this, but I was like, I told myself, like, stay at the job, Alan. Don't fucking leave. But since I knew there was an out already set up, I just couldn't hold on anymore because I didn't know what to do. And I don't think I had enough knowledge. Like, going back, I'd change it, right? I'd be like, oh, I could have rented out rooms to my house. I could have done that instead. But instead, I fucking sold my house, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of mistakes that happen, but it's hard to look at that hindsight because I'm like, well, I don't know. I didn't know those things. I didn't learn about investing and all that shit until later, until I left. Because my job took up too much fucking time, I didn't have a chance to learn anything new. And the job wasn't teaching me anything new. It plateaued. They're like, you can't go any higher. It's a family business. You can't go to VPO. You can't do anything higher. So I get what you're saying, Chase, completely. So it's like one of those things. So for me, yeah, I had a good chunk of change saved up. I knew I was going to get a lot of money from the house. And I'm still living off of that. I've been living off it for 4 years. And luckily, monetizing just enough on YouTube to keep it afloat. I'm not successful at this yet. Like I'm like on the cuff, man. Like anything could come my way and just fuck this all up. But who knows?
And the platforms, everyone, don't get it wrong. Like nobody's obligated to share their financial success from streaming, and nor should they. You know, you wouldn't be at home being an accountant, being like, "Hey, how much do you earn?" It's like it's none of your fucking business. But streaming and YouTubing and all those things, especially with reactions where copyright claims everything, you don't make near as much fucking money as people assume that you do, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
Platforms then take a cut. You've got to then pay tax, right? So support the fucking streamers as much as you can, but financially, it's nowhere near what people like assume it's going to be.
Yeah, you look up on Social Blade, it's like $100,000 a year, it says, and I'm like,
oh,
I'm making bank.
Meanwhile, we're on food stamps.
And then you post a fucking short. You post a short to YouTube, and you get like 17 million views. And YouTube goes, "Well, here's 4 cents and half a fucking banana." And it's like, okay, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Jesus Christ, you know.
Oh my god.
Dude, man. So the follow up to that, like you saying that, and then like the view count and stuff, and then knowing that that's what it is for reactors. I have a person that I talked to, and it's a content creator, and they were like, I had a stable job, and I made it a goal. As soon as I got to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, I was quitting my job. I was like,
Jesus Christ.
what? What? And at the time I was like, hell yeah, 10,000 subs? Yeah. And then now it's like looking at it, I'm like, it's a horrible mistake. And then like, you know what I mean? I haven't even been able to get in touch with them for like 2 years now. So I'm like, damn.
What? Not a good thing.
No, not at all. I'm like, good God.
Oh, no.
So like, yes. It looks like, I think from a lot of people's perspective, especially mine, whenever I was a like early content creator, I had a friend that kind of his channel popped off at the time in perspective to where I was at, like sitting at like, between 5 to 10 average viewers on a stream or something like that. And his was starting to take off. And I was like, oh, he's probably quitting his job. He worked as like an electrician or something like that, probably quitting his job doing all these things. And it just was not the case. He's not making nearly as much money. And especially being a reaction channel where like we do get everything copyright claimed. I literally, right whenever we started this, got a copyright strike. What?
Wow.
I know.
Right.
It's the first
Also,
time.
I want to mention, Hatesby, said you should probably get your green card first before you do any shrooms.
Yes,
I
that's
think
great
I'll
advice.
I think I'll get it and I'll fucking hide it. I mean, look, there's an alternative, guys. There's an alternative. We could go on OnlyFans and fucking stand in a bunch of baked beans or pour Jello on ourselves. Or
Let's go.
I like
just
where
on
that's
an
heading.
album
Let's
cover
go.
every
Scene
fucking
speak,
week. I don't know.
OnlyFans. Let's go.
Scene speak feet.
Scene speak feet.
Scene choke.
Feet.
Scene show.
So stupid, dude. Scene speak, dude. Yes.
Oh, scene
Yeah.
feet. Yeah.
Scene feet.
Scene
Oh, that's
show.
perfect.
Oh my god.
Scene
I
feet.
can't even go. It's
You know what it
happening,
is?
though.
It's just
You know what's
waving
sad?
myself,
You know what's sad?
putting our feet together, and our toes are locking like this.
Yeah,
know what's sad?
slowly.
I'm
I
down.
do have
one
pretty
time.
I'm
sexy
down.
feet.
How much we are making for this? I'm down. I'm totally down. All we gotta do is hug feet. Let's do it.
All we have
Yes.
to find is like two old guys who are bored, two old rich guys who are bored, who are like, yeah, I'm into those
Dude, I've
fucking
never.
feet. Show me.
Yeah.
I
I've
wanna
never
know.
seen things happen like this. Yeah.
Hey, look, Solemn said I know I'm a subscriber, so look at
You got one.
we got one.
I mean,
we need to meet
Wow,
up for
thank you,
our
Solemn.
annual feet meet and greet.
Feet man.
Feet and greet.
Feet.
Let's have like a feet and greet.
Let's have a meet
Yes.
and greet.
It's just us wearing sandals at a mall.
It's like one of those Japanese shops where it's just a hole in the wall and our feet pop out.
Yes, dude. Oh my god.
Look
I
at
was
we
thinking
got.
we're all on
Dude.
stage, but only there's cam lights on our feet, so everything else is shadowed out. You can't see us.
It could be
But
cheek.
that's even better.
What's
Hey, it's B says
Speak?
she fully supports it. Look at we got two.
Yeah, I got
supporters.
to support a partner. I'm be like, okay, listen,
yeah.
babe, we're
The
gonna need to lotion
foot
up these little
glory
tootsies 'cause
hole.
I got work to do.
What the hell's the foot glory hole?
holes.
I'll tell you what a foot glory hole is.
Oh man.
I got a story. No, actually, that's not. No, don't do that. Yeah, we'll get cancelled immediately.
Well,
What are we talking
speaking of starting an OnlyFans, Final Fantasy
Yes.
Rebirth.
Yes. Perfect segue.
This is the final fantasy.
Perfect segue.
Jesus Christ, unbelievable.
That's the segue they needed. Okay. That's the segue they needed.
John, take it away. What do we need to
Yes.
know about this?
Okay, so officially tomorrow, or actually I think even tonight at 12 o'clock, I believe, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is the second in the remake installments. They're going to be doing 3. It's coming out, and man, they literally have 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5 across the board from like every major critic that's out there, which is freaking nuts, dude. They it's got the best Metacritic score of any Final Fantasy for the past, like, I can't even remember, since like Final Fantasy 9. It's blowing up, dude. So I'm very stoked. I think it's exactly what Final Fantasy needed, or Final Fantasy 7 in particular needed, coming off of remake. A lot of people were not liking that. But yeah, dude, I'm stoked. It's turned a lot of people that didn't like it into believers, and hopefully
right.
getting a lot of new fans.
Question. Yeah, Cookie Monster is talk about Tifa in a bikini. What is this all about?
Oh, what, dude? So yeah, they're going to this place called Casa de Sol. I think is the name of the place. So there's like a classic beach thing there, and Tifa, very busty, like I don't know, just awesome waifu.
Is this it
I guess
right here?
she's the original. She's the original, dude. But
I was nervous to type
yeah.
this in my search engine.
Wait, what is going on?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Alan needs to clear his browser history.
He's like, hold on, Tifa.
What's a
FF7.
waifu? Explain this, because I keep hearing this shit. What is that?
It's like an anime wife, like with normally, like if we're gonna just categorize, probably gonna be really busty, just over.
But not a real person.
Correct. Well, I mean,
Well,
you
it
know,
could
maybe
be.
you just she's real to me.
Okay.
She's real to me, Chase.
So she blow up.
real to me, damn it. She's real to me. Take
To bring an air
Don't take
pump.
our fantasies away from us.
I will say this though too, like I don't know, man. It's wild, dude. It's wild. There's a lot of craziness around this game, but there's so many shippers for this too. And I don't know if y'all ever saw this, but what was it in I think it was in Italy. They were doing their government video thing, and there was like a hentai picture of Tifa. So she's like world famous for a lot of the wrong reasons, but it's perfect. But yeah.
Someone said search Jessica Nagiri.
I'm not searching shit.
Ooh, nigiri. Yum.
I'll search it.
Now I want sushi.
Chase is doing it. Chase is doing it.
Oh, okay. It's a real person.
Captain Dusty Fire says, I love the theory that the remake trilogy is actually a sequel to the OG game.
Yeah, I mean it could be. I've got a lot of friends that are in that in the community of that like content creators for Final Fantasy VII, and there's a lot of interesting theories out there. But I don't know that we'll know anything until the third one. We might know something on this one.
Is it an exclusive game or?
It is. It's a PlayStation 5
Oh.
exclusive right now, and I do like I got it. My stream. I'm going to be doing a 24-hour stream, and it's sponsored by Square. So I'm going to be giving copies of the game
Squarespace.
away.
Nice.
Square Enix. But how cool would
so I have no
Squarespace
idea.
be? Dude, yeah. No, Square Enix is a game manufacturer. So if anybody is interested and does have a PlayStation, if you want a free game, come by my stream.
When
But,
is it happening? Let's plug.
The game or the stream?
No, the stream.
Tomorrow at like pretty early in the morning, I think. We're going
So
for it tomorrow.
is the game out?
No, it starts I think 12 o'clock tonight, actually, I believe.
Nice.
So
I'm going to be
Dude,
there. Not for 12 hours, but I will be there.
be there for 24, man. Come on out with it.
Oh,
Come
24
on.
hours.
Can
Yeah,
you
yeah.
convince
You
them to
think-
release it on PC?
Well, maybe. I think the first one is now on PC, so it's just a year exclusivity, which
Oh,
is
sweet.
kind of a crappy thing, but you know.
I still have a PS4, and now nothing works.
Oh,
on
they
it.
might have it for PS4 actually. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll look and see what my key is for it too.
I started a gaming channel because I've always wanted to, and I never did. And eventually, I started a gaming channel. I don't play Final Fantasy, but it may be an option. So let's say I haven't played it, but I find like genres like that quite intimidating. Like I've always into the survival stuff. I play Ark, 7 Days, all that kind of thing. But I am the Final Fantasy thing is very interesting to me. I've seen a lot of it. I've played a bit of it, but I find like it's so big and there's so many and it's so far into its journey. I find it super intimidating, like to jump in. It's like, am I going to be lost? Am I getting frustrated because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing? Or people are going to be like, oh my God, he doesn't even know what a Dronodon is.
Yeah. You're going to get that. People are definitely no, dude, like each Final Fantasy is its own thing. So like Final Fantasy 1, you could play that if you really wanted to go back and just be like watching pixels and stuff, or you could play 15 and you're going to be completely cool with it. 16's badass. You would love that game. And you don't have to know anything going into it.
Well, you're my Final Fantasy.
No,
I was waiting for that.
You're my Tifa. I'm just yeah. But yeah, man, no, go for it, dude. Go for it. That's what I say. Like you don't necessarily have to know anything about it. And I was super intimidated, like talking about gaming streams. I'm a huge fan of like Dark Souls games, freaking Bloodborne, Elden Ring. And before I really started doing music stuff, I started doing video game content as well. And I was terrified to post anything about Elden Ring because the community they're just so like,
Oh my God.
Oh, really?
and yeah, I posted it. It was totally fine, dude. Like, I mean, I don't know. You definitely get some douchers, but you I don't know.
Well, let's be honest, we didn't pick a much easier lane. Like, if I
Yeah.
can try and do a reaction to a band that's, I don't want to say, but like a particular culty fan base of the band, and they tell you shit. I posted after all, like, I thought I was used to it. I was like, I'm used to streams. I'm used to doing videos. I'm used to criticism. I do gaming, do a gaming video. I post up, and this guy's like, oh my God, you thought that dino with an egg under it was a male. I'm like, yeah, bitch, and your mother thought you were going to be a good human. Now, fuck right off. It's like, no.
Dude, that's why I got into doing movie reviews, because that's never controversial.
Oh,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Whoa. No, that is not true. Movie reviews is definitely controversial. It will become controversial.
Dun, dun, dun. Man, I can only imagine. Did you do a review yet on like Madam Web? Did you do one on that?
Yeah.
Because I know we talked about it.
Yeah, we
did. Y'all talked about it. While I
I'm
was
working on. I did one, like a quick one, but I'm working on one right now that's more in depth. It's just a lot of editing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna drop one soon.
I'm excited to read it. But yeah, like I think it's like anything, and especially like the bigger the topic is that you're covering, like Final Fantasy VII seems like an easy enough game. If you get into it, you're gonna find people that are just like way into it. Like the creator of Final Fantasy VII got death threats online just for not bringing back a NPC character and making them have like a love interest, because this person had like this obsessive love interest with this character. And I'm like, well, you can't please everyone, literally.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
But the bigger the fan base is, the bigger the game. The more that you're going to attract somebody. You know what I mean?
At least
That's
with the
kind of
game, it's a game. Music
Yeah.
is different. Music, people tie it to like very personal experiences. Like with games, they say they'll say like, "Oh, I can't believe you increased the hatching speed. You're cheating." I'm like, cheating? I don't know if you realize I'm riding a fucking triceratops in a fur coat. What are you talking about? But with like, you do like a bad reaction to like a Nightwish or a Bandmate or a Baby Metal, and people were like, I kissed my first girlfriend under the stars to that song. You fucking bastard! I'll find
If
where
you
live.
pause
Like,
when Floor is doing like right before the big note in
Oh, God,
Ghost Love
yes.
Score, like I did, you're gonna get roasted, and then
Yeah. Well,
and
I mean,
people are crazy.
yeah, but I don't know. I think like I did this stream on Twitch whenever it was really early starting out. There's a game, Final Fantasy 13, and I was like, what? I was trying to find it to replay it because I played it whenever I was a kid, and I think I was like going on tour, and my Xbox Red Ring of Death, so I wasn't able to finish the game. I was trying to look it up, trying to find out how to play it, couldn't find it anywhere, and then everything I looked up, if you typed in Final Fantasy 13, it would say is the worst Final Fantasy game. So I made my title, "Is this the worst Final Fantasy?" And I played Final Fantasy 13. I streamed it for like weeks straight with that title.
so you're
And-
good at SEO.
Oh yeah. So many people came to my stream. They were like, "You're so wrong." And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I liked it whenever I was growing up, but everybody else says it sucks. So like,
I'm gonna start clickbait. I'm gonna be like, Red Ring of Death. Are we talking about my Xbox or my asshole?
Donna. But yeah, man. So I don't know. I think like you can definitely attract some assholes for sure. You can, but I don't know. For the most part, not.
All right, guys. You guys have any other topics you want to talk about, or
Was that everything?
that was everything?
I don't know. Was that everything?
Trailblazers.
That was everything. Trailblazers. We just zoomed through it. We're a little. I wasn't as prepared this morning, guys. Apologize.
No, I think. So, listen, first of all, massively appreciate the support. So we also aware that when we literally scheduled this as a live, we lost a subscriber because sensitive Sally's out there. But we do appreciate the support. So please continue to like and do all these things. We are trying to do as much of the side content, the shorts and little clips and stuff as we can. But everyone's got their own stuff going on, so we appreciate anything you do. And some days are going to be shorter, some days are going to be longer. This was a bit more. I felt like we had an emotional connection with each other and our fan base. What do you think, guys?
I do
think
too.
so.
I'm looking forward to the OnlyFans feet and greet.
We lost
nothing
the
wrong-
weird one.
Yes, dude.
There's nothing wrong with an hour-long show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Norman wants a link to the Feats channel, asking for a friend.
I like it.
Yeah, guys. So we hope to see you next Wednesday at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'll
please.
be live again with your.
For
Can I
feet
just-
speak.
Can I
With your-
just say what
Yes.
might be really helpful, Alan? Sorry, I'm interrupting you here, but what might be really helpful if we put up a community post after this, and if you guys see anything in the news that you think is like really great to want to talk about musically or otherwise, just pop a suggestion on that post or something, or link to an article, and then we'll have a look at it.
We want
Yeah, I like
feet content
Yeah.
specifically. We want to rate people's feet. What do you?
We need to
you
get
guys-
feet cams for the live streams.
Don't even joke. When I was doing reactions, B used to joke about my feet always going like a little drummer, like up and down, even though I can't play drums. So I was like, I need to do a Jordan cam so I can get sponsored by Jordan. Guess what didn't happen?
What?
Did you do the cam?
Anything nice. I got no Jordan sponsorship. I'm still here, Jordan.
Dude,
Wink
I
for
feel like
feet.
I could do something right now and we could get a sponsorship from a foot company at the exact moment. I don't know why this happened today. I don't normally do this, but
A
like,
foot company?
I
we
will
could
take
get-
you
we
ankle
could
deep.
get
That's what I'm saying.
sponsored. We
I'll
can get
take it.
sponsored quickly. All I gotta do is raise this foot up, dude. All I gotta do is raise
Yeah.
this foot up. Just tip me. I'll do it, dude.
Ankle deep. You guys have a good
Do
one.
it.
See you guys in the next one. See you.
Just-
Man.
And I can't end the broadcast. Okay.
there we
We're
are.
live, baby.
We're back.
I'm showing them. I'm showing everybody.
It won't let me end it. You guys are gonna have to. Oh, there it is. Bye.
Dune reviews. What? Dune drops?